My name is Makona Bhavin, and I am your today's instructor for Practicals of Computer Networks. And today, what we are going to do is we are going to learn about Cisco Packet Tracer. Cisco is a really big company which make routers, switches. It is a really big networking company. And what we are going to do is Cisco has its own simulation, or we can say simulator software, which is called Cisco Packet Tracer. And in Cisco Packet Tracer, we can logically create our network. What I mean to say logically is Cisco has its own set of routers and everything. Cisco has its own set of routers and everything. So we have the set of routers here. As you can see, every router has its own different configuration. If I put router over here, if I double click over it, so I can see the back side of the router, and if I zoom in, there will be, you can see there are two RJ45 plugs in my router, and this must be this USB-C port. So I can see that this is a Cisco 4300 series of router, and I can use this router in my simulation, but virtual simulation. So let's delete this router. So first what we are going to do is we are going to go through the introduction, that what is Cisco Packet Tracer and what are the things available in the Cisco Packet Tracer. So we are going to first let's see over here. These are all the devices that are available to create our network. As I said, that if you want to create your own virtual network, so let's suppose you want to create a network of 100 PCs. So what you can do is you can put 100 virtual PCs in the Cisco Packet Tracer, and you can give their IP addresses too. Like I can configure my own PC as the way I want. So if I can ready a plan of my Ethernet, like not Ethernet but my LAN. I can ready a plan of my LAN network, and I can simulate it over here in the Cisco Packet Tracer. So let's go through the devices one by one. As you can see, these are the network devices. So first, when I click on the router, these are the router. These are my routers. So here you can see the number of routers that are available over here. It's like I think it is 10 or 20 routers. So if I click on a router and put it over here, I can see all the information about the router. Okay. So if I double click on it, I can see the backside of the router, which ports are available. You understanding what I'm saying? This is the actual router. This is showing us that how the actual router will behave, and this router will have the same bandwidth as the actual router that we use physically. You can see that it is GESPF, a single wired HWCI with the small form factor. This is the information about a router. SPFs provided one port gigabit Ethernet connectivity. You see, and I can go through all the things one by one. You see over here, this it is WCI cover. It is giving me the information about WCI cover, 1G SPF. This is about the port. This is talking about the port, and there is SWIC, two port series high speed WAN interface card, providing a two serial ports. So and this is a configure tab. Device is still booting. Please wait until it is finished. When I put a router, when I put router over here, you can see it is still booting. That's why I cannot access the configuration. So we will see another thing. We will see CLI. CLI is used to write commands or to provide command to our routers. So if I want to configure router, if I want to give my router a specific address or something like that, if I want to create my own uh, networking, what I'm trying to say is networking map. If I want to create my own routing map, then I can configure it over here. There are two ways. There are always two ways in our Cisco packet tracer to configure everything. One is like you can configure it graphically, like user with the user interface. But second thing is you have to configure everything by command prompt. Okay, we are not going to see how to configure everything with command prompt. We are going to see graphically because it is easy, and you don't have to remember all the commands and everything. Okay, so I think my router is still booting up, but when I put cursor on the router, it will show me the information about that router. Like it is showing me that right now it is device name, device model, and you can see there are three Ethernet ports over here: gigabit Ethernet 0001 and 02. And after the router boots up, I have to give configuration. I have to set up a router. I have to give IP address to the router, IP version 6 address to the router, default gateway to the router. Those are all the information that I have to provide, and depending on that my network will work. Okay, so let's delete this router. Let's see another. What we have is switches. You know why we are using switches is used to, like, if you know, switches works on a data link layer. So what switch will do is it will take the packet from the network, and in the network it will deliver the packet to the particular MAC addresses. Okay, and we have hubs, and then we have wireless devices. In wireless devices we have Mareki WLC 3720 3720i. We don't have to look into all these devices, but you see the variety of devices over here. I have a cell tower, so even I can configure a cell tower. You know that if there is a, like, geo cell tower, and if I want to connect all the mobile phones through wireless connection, then I can do that with the cell tower. So these are all the possibilities that I can, like, I can configure my network with. Then we have security. For security, these are the firewalls. These are the firewalls that will use to, you know, like, it will work as an actual firewall. It can, you know, filter the traffic, and you know, suspect that if the packet is malicious or not. That we can do. Then there is WAN emulation. This is for the, you know, to connect to the WAN. We are going to use it. Then here is network devices. These are the routers. Again, these are all the routers that we see over here, and every router has its own different name. Then we have end devices. What is the meaning of end to end devices? End to end devices, we can include server, or we can say PC. Like if I am, you know, I am firing a request for google.com, then at the one point of end, Google, my own device will be one endpoint, and another endpoint will be uh, Google server. So there are lots of end devices. There is PC, laptop, server. I told you that server can be the endpoint. Then there is Meraki server, network controller, printer, you know, phones, dial-up devices, phone, TV, tablet. So there are number of devices, variety of devices, and it is not like I can, if I want to create a network, I can only use PC and router. There is everything. There is like hub, repeater, switch, everything that is provided over here, and we can configure it. We can give IP addresses over here, and if our network is working, what I mean to say by working is, if I send and receive a data successfully after configuring our network, and if the same IP address give it to the actual devices, like physical devices, then it will work. That is the meaning of a simulation that we will see. So that's why, that is the thing we are going to use this Cisco packet tracer. And for the Cisco packet tracer, what I am going to do is I am going to give you a little bit of example, like if I how to connect two PCs and how to configure two PCs. Like just putting a PC into over here white screen doesn't connect two PCs together. And there is another thing. Let's see components. These are the component: SBC board, If I put SBC board over here and if I double click on it, it will give me the specifications. This is the physical, this is the SPC board. It has its own ROM. It has a connector. These are the capacitors, these are the on off switch that I can manually on and off. You see over here, if I on the switch over here, it will give me green switch over here. If Let me see if I can zoom in. Yes, I can zoom in. Okay, so this is the PCB that we can use for our applications. And you see over here, this PCB has its own wireless 3 and Bluetooth. So I can give my own name to the Bluetooth, MAC address to the pair with any other devices. If I want to pair this Bluetooth with the laptop, that I can do in this Cisco packet tracer. Okay, so let's delete this. Then there is cable, and there are different kind of cable. The first one is automatically choose a connection type. Like if I want to connect two PC, then I will obviously use the RJ45 Ethernet cable. Then there is console kind of cable, copper straight cable, copper crossover cable. Then there is fiber cable, phone cable, coaxial cable, serial DC, serial DTE, octal cable. There are different kind of cable, and all these cable have different bandwidth. So depending on our bandwidth or our real life example, we can connect different cables. Okay, then these are the routers and PCs as usual. So but now what we are going to do is, first we are going to take two PC for the example. For the example point of view, what we are going to do is, we are going to take two PCs, PC1 and PC2. We are going to connect it through the cable. And for the cable, what I am going to use is RJ45 Ethernet cable. If I click over here on the cable, and if I tap over here and if I connect these two things, you see the two PCs are connected right now. And if I go over here, here there are two ports. Like my PC has Bluetooth, and with that PC has Ethernet. Let's click on it over here. This is the back side of my PC. This is the front side of my PC, back side of my PC. You see over here, I have one Ethernet port. That is, I think this is another Ethernet port. This is my headphone jack, two USB kind of port, and this is for the microphone. Okay, and this is the floppy device, and this is for the CD drive. Okay, so these are all the different physical components that we have given. Okay, so let's go. This is for the cover, this is for the PT headphone. See over here, this is the for the PT headphone, this is for the PT headphone, and this is for the PT microphone. Okay, now what we can do, we can go into the config. Device must be powered on. Okay, first let me power on the device. Let's see. If I go, device must be powered. Wait. Huh. If I press this button, the device will be turned off, and if I press this button again, device will be powered on. Here I see that it is green light, that means the device is powered on and I can send and receive data over here. But as I told you, that connecting two component doesn't mean that you are in a network. You have to configure the network, you have to give a specific IP address depending on the network you are. So what I am going to do is, I am going to go for the fast Ethernet, and for the IP address I am going to provide 192.168.0.1. Okay, and subnet mask will be 255.255.0.255.0. Okay, I can close it, and for this PC, I think it was 1. I am going to give it to 2. 192. Sorry, 19. 192.168.0.2. Okay, and for the DNS server it will be, no, this is global one, I'm sorry. See, I am trying to define a gateway, but I have to define this Ethernet port 192.168.0.2, and this will be my subnet mask. Okay, let me check that if the device is powered on or not. Yes, the device is powered on. Then there is desktop. This will give me, this will work as an actual desktop. You see over here, user app manager, then there is Bluetooth, SSH client, TFTP file transfer protocol service, then triple P OE dialer, text editor, firewall, IP version 6 firewall, email. I can do everything. I can even configure my wireless PC. And I can, if I click on the web browser, I can browse through over here. And right now I'm not connected through the internet. Or like if my PC is connected through the WAN, then for the WAN, this is for the WAN, multi-user connection. Okay, over here I think, yes, this is WAN emulation. If I put WAN emulation over here, then I can directly connect to the internet and I can send and receive the packets. So this is for the desktop point of view, this is for the programming point of view. These are the attributes, like what is the name, what is the cost, then power source is 0, rack unit, voltages. But we have to go through the desktop. Let me close the web browser, and we have to go to the terminal. Yes, if I try to ping 192.168.0.1, here two PCs are connected. Now what I can do is I can send a packet using this. Yes, now simulation, and I will click play. You see over here that first packet was received, but it was not acknowledgement. So they discard the packet. But the second packet that received was received. That's why it is giving me the right sign. This is how I can send and receive the packet. If I go over here, I can see all the information, the event list that has been happened. You see over here that I have sent the ICMP packet from PC3 to PC2, and ARP packet, ICMP packet, ARP packet, and this will show me all the packets that I have been received and sent. So this was the little normal example of a Cisco packet tracer. Now what we can do is, depend using all these router, switch, hub. What we can do is we can create our own network, and that network can be as much complicated as you want, but you just have to make sure that you are giving the right naming convention. Naming convention, what I mean to say by naming convention is, I am giving the right IP addresses to all the devices. If my IP address is wrong over here or somewhere else, then the network won't work the way you want, and it will give you error and your packet won't be sent or received. Okay. Okay, thank you.